Hello and welcome everybody, another great match for you today. This one is actually going to be an especially good match, as I know both of these players very well. To the northeast, we've got NTO Unleashed, who is playing GDI. And to the southwest, we've got LiangHuBBB, who's also playing GDI. GDI Mirror usually results in exciting games at the very least. Some of them are pretty quickly over though. And I'm joined here today with
Super Kill once again.
So we're both going to be shoutcasting this match, as I'm sure you've gathered so far. Anyhow, for those of you interested, McKill is actually doing the camera controls and the flavor commentary, and I'll be doing the main commentary today. And that's how we do it for everyone.
Rifleman squad pulling back into this building here as it Unleashed pushed ahead very aggressively and got the further up building.
Yeah, I'm pretty intrigued that Unleashed managed to get such a head start with those riflemen, because obviously those riflemen got a lot more covered a lot more ground beforehand. But it looks like Liang has actually sent his first rifleman to the sides.
He's probably going to try to get in here, but Unleashed is actually garrisoning his back buildings as well, so that's not going to work.
The great thing about doing a push ahead with your riflemen is that you do manage to secure the ground needed to just easily take up your backside. It's basically like guarding a husk. Anyhow, so another intense battle here. Liang shot first, as they say.
And he pulls ahead with 4 riflemen remaining. 4 little rifle dudes.
Yeah.
And actually pulling back to get killed.
Yep.
That was silly. He should have kept going around here and scouted out the space rather than that.
Yep. So second harvester coming out there for Unleashed. Unleashed, it looks like has an engineer APC.
Yeah, this is definitely an engineer APC. I just clicked on it and you can see the engineer thing. So this is sort of interesting because this is Liang's strategy. Usually, he's actually quite famous for being an advocate of engineer APCs, saying that we should.
And look, the APC coming up there right against the unpacked MCV, forced to pack it up again. Here comes the engineer just killed the Unleashed, sells the refinery just to be sure. I'd say he had about a half a second left still, but he didn't want any of it. Unleashed forced to sell a refinery there, and Liang forced to sell a refinery, and that's probably all Unleashed was hoping for.
This APC is going to die, but it's sort of interesting they didn't go for the MCV there. I think that if he'd just gone around here, really his engineer was killed by the harvesters, so I'm surprised they didn't go for that. I guess he must have understood that it would have been packed up, but still it seemed like that would have been more worthwhile.
Taking refineries against vanilla GDI is always a little bit iffy.
And now Liang actually has another one, so now he's got 6 harvesters and 2 refineries, which will give him slightly more money, although less efficient.
Yeah.
A little pitbull battle over here. Guy's heavily wounded for Liang. Gonna take 2 more shots probably in that.
Mid-tech up there for Unleashed.
Down goes the pitbull, and wouldn't be surprised to see an airfield popping up very, very shortly. Oh!
Oh, very. Yeah, that was rather impressive. Anyway, so Unleashed bringing up his airfield there, and actually in plain view of LiangHuBBB's scouting. So LiangHuBBB is going to be able to anticipate this by a little bit.
I would have tried to be a little bit more sneaky with that.
Placement, definitely. I would have gone to the northwest where the refinery is. Anyhow, so here come Unleashed Pitbulls actually for a 6 Pitbull attack, and they're supplemented by an orca strike. Oh, very, very good. 5 Pitbull attack, facing off against 4 Pitbulls of LiangHuBBB, and very, very nice concentration of fire there. As we can see, these 4 Pitbulls are firing 1 volley, and that is, of course, enough to take out a single Pitbull.
And he's just going to pull back because he doesn't have the numbers anymore, but I wouldn't be surprised. 3 orcas, 4 orcas now. And actually, I believe I'm seeing the square shape of an airfield actually in this area too. So Liang has his own airfield, so we're going to see some orca battles. Unleashed is expanding as well, very early, just right after that. So here comes Unleashed orcas here. See if they manage to
no longer supplemented by the pitbulls, I would mention.
Yeah. And oh, they're actually going to cross
Paths with Liang's 3 orcas. That's really bizarre, actually. I rarely see that happen, but
these are going to be countered, it looks like, by some
yeah.
slingshots. Over here we have pit bulls versus these orcas, losing one already, and it looks like he's going to pull out, though, with just one loss. So, Unleashed,
complete attack foil there. LiangHuBBB managing to take out a Predator tank there, and he should be running those orcas the hell away from there right now.
Now we're just sort of sitting them over these slingshots, actually, finally pulling out. Losing two. Oh, down goes the last one. So not very good micro there. Could have saved probably 3 of those as opposed to 1.
Yeah, definitely.
Meanwhile, Pitbulls, though, coming around, being countered by Shatterer, although Shatterer gets, if you micro your Pitbulls right, you can easily take out a Shatterer just by running around as Liang just did.
Yep. Very nice to see them there. So, just to go back for a second, I would, the proper move to do with those orcas versus slingshots is just to leave an orca there, because one of them is going to die.
Or even run it back the other way.
Exactly. Run it back. You have to attract the fire, and then you can run the other ones out very, very safely. No problems whatsoever. But it looks like the Pitbulls of LiangHuBBB are actually going to manage to do some pretty good anti-harvester harassment over here.
Yeah, basically no counters down here. Pitbulls are shockingly slow against even harvesters, though. They
yeah, look how many there are there, and they're still just not managing to take out these harvesters. Although I would point out that for some reason LiangHuBBB has been very, very careful with these, and honestly, I consider Pitbulls to be expendable. I think I would have definitely just tried to take as many harvesters as possible there. We can see 2 harvesters in mid-health. Although LiangHuBBB is single orca, maybe a couple more, because he's
down goes 1 actually.
Yeah, down goes 1.
But I would actually argue that the Pitbull micro there was not very good, as he failed to take out a harvester with 10 Pitbulls basically in his opponent's base. I mean, 2 of these guys were red health. This one could be killed. This guy could have been killed. Instead, he wasted shots on this one, for example, just little shots here and there. He should have been microing those better.
Interestingly enough, though, I would say it's pretty typical of LiangHuBBB. I'd say he's more of a macro player than a micro player, and he's been really, really substantially good at that. That pretty much based his entire game. But Unleashed, of course, some of the best micro you'll see, and that's definitely going to be one of Unleashed's advantages.
Meanwhile, Liang's Pitbulls are actually going down here and forcing Unleashed to sell up his airfield, as well as basically his entire base down here. So that's actually going to be sort of substantially is two power plants, upgrade power plants are going to go down, and that is going to be really difficult. Down power.
Yep. So he's really going to have to bring up, and trying to bring up a watch tower there, but of course he doesn't have power, it's not going to help him out.
But I would not be surprised to see his command post go down. It definitely should. If it doesn't, then that'd be shameful.
Power
plant.
Power plants are probably the only building that you should never sell, because you should always be building another power plant when they're being aggressed, and it would just slow you down and sell it up.
And Liang is opting to go attack this Tiberian spike rather than go for
and again, I say,
that is your target.
That is the only important target on this side of the map. Although he is bringing them back, and he will be able to take that out. LiangHuBBB also has a couple of Predators, it looks like, to the south to help him out there. A couple of Predators managing to take out that Shatterer, actually, with some very bizarre micro.
The Orca is actually running over the top as well. Missed what those are doing. Also, it appears that Unleashed Orca.
In another weird move, these Pitbulls were briefly attacking the MCV there, which isn't going to happen. Anyhow, but again, these Pitbulls are being used anti-air very nicely, microed around those Predator tanks, and as you can see, Unleashed has lost all his orcas. At
a heavy price, so many Pitbulls dying there.
But really, again, I say Pitbulls are cheap enough that I don't lament their loss, simply because in the late game, when you're facing down tons of melee tanks and juggernauts and Mars, you're not going to be thinking about how many pit bulls you have. It's not going to be a substantial factor in the match.
Not substantial, but it's always good to try to save them if you can, of course.
Yeah,
but,
every unit. See, as a Command and Conquer player, you have to care. You have to want your units to live, even if you don't know if they're going to be immediately useful to you. And some people find that very difficult.
Most measly pit bull could go and kill the winning orca.
Yeah.
You never know. And here we have
Firehawks.
Firehawks, very nice.
Those could definitely kill the winning orca. But Unleashed is going to have to pull off something pretty spectacular if he's to come back from what I see right
the
now.
base control of Liang is just very nice. He's managed to maintain his home base, as well as nice orca strike actually going on where the
Firehawk just was, and Liang very carefully pulling off that Firehawk, which
is going to go hang out down there again.
Again, I applaud. This is kind of the prediction power of the pros is really substantial.
And this is an 8 harvester, 3 refinery economy for Liang.
I don't think I have seen an expansion economy that substantial. Let's take a look at what Liang's building. I'm interested to see what his build is going to be like. He could definitely support 3 Qs, I think.
Yeah, he is currently supporting 3 Qs and gaining money. He's building, he's training from the war factory, and he's building
Firehawks. Yeah. It's a really interesting mix, actually. I'm wondering why he wants more pit bulls.
Well, there's a full regiment of orcas here.
Slingshots are typically good against those.
Yeah, but several players, myself included, don't like training slingshots because they have no other capabilities.
Yeah, well, as you've demonstrated, they are decent anti-infantry.
Anti-infantry, yes, but have you seen any infantry? The only infantry unit on the board right now.
I'm saying, by and large, in any case,